Welcome to the Robcast. I am your host, Rob, and today with me is the cutie patootie, Dean. Dean, how you doing?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So the title of today's episode is I Drive. This is because me and Dean, we both like driving. Dean, how much do you like driving?
Driving's one of my favorite activities, I would say.
How favorite of an activity?
I mean, sometimes I just get in my car, just have a good drive, just to calm down a little bit.
Just chilling?
Just chilling.
Just chilling? Is there I guess I should go to the questions. What is the best time to drive?
What is the best time to drive?
Like the best I mean, I'm not asking for like a actual time, like 6:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. But like AM, PM, like
Well, what's your favorite time to drive, first of all?
my favorite time to drive, I'd say is probably shit. When I was driving back from I should probably loop this in with a story. I was driving back from my bear hunt in British Columbia, right? Me and my dad, we drove like 19 hours straight. So we drove throughout the day and we drove throughout the night and into the morning. And we finally stopped at 9 a.m. to take like a brief 30-minute nap. Mm-hmm. We pounded right on through. So having that being me driving throughout every time possible, I would say probably 4 in the morning.
Oh, you're like a night.
I am a night owl. When I start seeing like the blue collar people start getting up for work and driving around and like the street lights are off and it's just dawn, kind of.
You're one of the 7 people driving on the highway.
Yeah, and I like let it rip without it being like a safety hazard in any measurable way.
Time. I've never really driven at 4 in the morning, like only a couple times, but I'm definitely like a nighttime driver.
A nighttime driver?
Yeah. Yeah, that's when you get the music going, you get like the good like nighttime vibes going.
I feel like nighttime driving has been ruined because they changed the color of all the street lights. Like,
what
remember,
did they change them to?
Like they changed them from yellow to white. At least in my city, they changed it from yellow to white, and I just think that having like white street lights at like night is gross. I just think it's gross.
Not a fan.
I am not a fan at all.
You need like that yellow tint to your vision.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I need that. Like also notice the difference like when there's like water on my windshield, like when there's like little beads of water, and it's like yellow light compared to white light is just terrible.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm driving, I love driving at night, but I don't like driving in the rain at night because then it's kind of tough to see, especially with all the lights going on.
Yeah,
not a fan.
Yeah, that's like those people who have like I'm actually a fan. So this is a terrible opinion of mine, but I hate LED headlights entirely. I prefer like the halogen light bulb lights, even though they suck. They cost more money, at least effective. At least I can like see when somebody is like when you're on the highway, and a car is coming by you, and they have LED headlights. I'm like blinded.
Oh, they're way too
It's like a flashbang.
I agree with you there. Yeah.
And then but the halogen lights, like those ones are just nicer on the eyes. Those ones I feel are just better.
Yeah, and sometimes I think people are high beaming me, and it's like, are my high beams on? You know, like makes you question the entire drive.
Yeah. Do you have like auto high beam on your?
I have auto high beam.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're what? No, actually, I don't. I don't.
You
I have
don't?
automatic lights, but not auto high beam. I've seen the auto high beam before. I've driven a car with that, and it's kind of strange. Like it can like sense the car coming from like a distance away, and then it
turns it off.
Beams. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it puts them off and then back on when that car passes. It's like really strange.
Yeah. My Tacoma has that, and it's like, it was weird at first because I have an old one which doesn't have that at all. Then I got this new one that has that. So whenever I take, so you know how like on the highways they have like little like reflective arrows on the turns. Whenever I take a turn on a highway with the auto high beam on, like my high beams will flicker so bad because it's seeing like the light bounce off the reflective arrow. Like, oh, that's a car, turn it off. It's like the most annoying thing ever.
Yeah, well, I bet. And then I don't know, when the street isn't well lit, I'm not a big fan. I mean, I think all streets should have like reflective lines.
Things in the middle.
Yeah, so like when your light's bouncing off of the tape, it'll just make the area a little bit brighter.
I've just seen like way too many videos on Instagram Reels where somebody's driving down an unlit road and they just hit a deer.
Yeah.
And the deer just vaporizes.
Yeah, especially with like this area.
That is my biggest fear, because if I hit a deer with my little truck, it's done.
Yeah,
the truck is done.
I drive that little Kia sedan. If
Yeah.
I hit
You're
a deer,
done.
it's total.
You're done.
Yeah,
right?
I need a new car.
Break your nose with that one. Well, this loops into the next question: back roads or highway driving?
This is a great question. It's a great question.
That's why I put it on there.
So for me, I mean, a good back roads drive, I do love. Like,
yeah.
Vibes are good. Like, you feel like there's nobody around you. Like, sometimes like there's some woods. It just gives it a little bit of a good feel. But I don't know. There's something about down the highway at like 11:30 at night, just going like 90 on the interstate, like windows like kind of pop, like not fully popped, but like a little bit open. You get that fresh breeze.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. They're both great options, but probably highways.
I feel like highways are just more fun.
I agree.
To drive on, because you can let it rip.
Yeah.
Especially at night when there's nobody on there, and it's like, who are you hurting going 110 miles an hour on an empty highway?
Exactly.
You know?
I'm not advertising speeding.
Oh yeah, no,
or condoning speeding.
No,
but
we're not. This, I would never.
I would never either.
But the idea of it sounds pretty good.
If I were to put my car in sport mode and go just
Sport
fly
mode.
down the highway, I mean, it sounds like it'd be pretty fun.
I mean, that does sound like a good time. I know. My one buddy, you know him, the one guy from Enola that had one too many Zen pouches and just like rolling over himself. Yeah. He told me that he took his like full size truck up to like 150 miles an hour on the highway, and it was a death rattle. He said it was almost like a full size pickup truck is not designed for.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've never gone that fast. I've definitely gone pretty fast, but not to that extent.
Like, I feel like big trucks are like weirdly good at going too fast. You know what I mean?
I agree.
I had a big driving event from British Columbia to Anchorage. A lot of things happened. That's why I reference it so often. Mm-hmm. But I was driving a Ford 350 Super Duty 8-foot bed, twin turbo, right? So it was a big diesel, big diesel thing. Heavy, but big diesel. And I learned that you can get that thing up to 60 miles an hour really quickly when that turbo goes on. And it's just so scary because you're driving this like almost a CDL truck. Mm-hmm. And you just ripped it out to 60 miles an hour. The tires are screeching. And it's like, what are you supposed to do?
My experience with trucks is you have to give it a little bit more gas to get going.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, when they get going, like you're
you get going.
But the thing with the car that I currently drive is like, I feel like I barely have to tap it, and then like you just kind of get cruising. But trucks, no, I mean, they definitely have a lot of power, but I feel like I have to give it a little bit more gas.
There's a lot of throw. It's weird. Mm-hmm. That's how I describe it. I hate those cars are really sensitive. Because it just feels like you always are brake checking people.
Yeah.
Like, whenever I drive my sister's Outback at home, it's like brand new. It's a Subaru Outback. And I'll put like a fingernail on the brake pedal, and everything will fly forward, shoot through the windshield. I'll get rear-ended by a Mack truck. It's like,
my brother has a Subaru, a Crosstrek. Before. And that's a pretty nice car, but yeah, like with the brakes, I definitely agree with you.
It's so sensitive.
They can be a bit
sensitive. Does your car have like the lane maintenance thing?
Mine doesn't. I've driven cars that have it.
It's so annoying.
It's really annoying.
I don't understand who looked at that and thought that would be okay.
Yeah, like I get it, but I don't think it's implemented very well.
I think it's just terrible. Yeah. Like my mom has a Crosstrek, and that thing beeps at you when you get out of the lane.
Yeah, I've driven a RAV4, the Toyotas, and those, like, if I'm just swerving a little bit, it'll like beep at me and then put me back on track, and I'm like,
this is terrible.
I'm not falling asleep.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
The car is being a little diva, and it's so annoying because I'm just there vibing out, right? And of course you zone out when you're driving for hours on end.
Oh,
You have
definitely.
to. If
Yeah.
you're focused while you're driving all the time, you're a sociopath.
If you're cruising down for like an hour and a half, I mean, like
Yeah.
your big trip is a lot longer than an hour and a half.
Yeah,
If you're like in a zone,
Yeah.
you just like totally kind of forget what's going on.
Yeah, if you're not in a zone, driving is the worst thing ever.
Oh, agreed. That's why driving is fun because you
Get to-
get in your little mood. You're like it's just you and the road and your music. It's great. Which we'll get into.
Oh yeah, of course, of course. All right, next on the agenda, very fittingly, music pairing.
Music pairing.
Dean, what is your driving music?
Driving music is a variety. It all depends on
Yeah.
time. It depends on your mood. It depends on even the weather sometimes.
Yes.
Um,
You
But-
give us an example of a pairing,
a pairing.
like white wine with fish. Like what time goes with what music?
I would say after dark, you can pair with like some psychedelic rock
Yes.
or some new wave from like the '80s and stuff. Get some
course.
police going.
The Police, so good.
That's probably my favorite pairing. I mean, that's kind of one of the times when I fell in love with night driving was a long drive to a high school basketball game, and on the way back, we were on the highway. I had this like classic rock playlist going,
Ooh,
and the vibes were unbelievable. And that's when I realized that like that's the music that you want to pair.
That's like the
with that time
driving.
of the day. Yeah.
yeah.
Or obviously, I mean, like synth music as well can be good while you're driving, which is on brand for a driving episode because it's
Of
what they
course.
do in Drive, the movie.
Yeah, drive the movie with Ryan Gosling.
It's a great movie.
I'm literally him.
He's me.
I drive.
I drive.
I drive.
He's me.
I don't talk to people. I drive.
But the night and like that psychedelic, that new wave stuff is probably my favorite pairing. But there's pairings for everything. I would say.
Yeah.
For all types of
Yeah.
times of day, types of weather.
Like when I'm I do a lot of off-roading with ATVs and stuff, right? And naturally I'll be listening to music while I'm doing that because why wouldn't I? And I'll be listening to like some death metal while I'm going through a mud hole up like a 90-degree incline. Sitting there like this works out fantastic. Gotta get angry,
Oh, I agree.
But then I'll be driving to my job at like 4 a.m. I'm like, I'm not listening to death metal at 4 a.m. I'm not that crazy yet. So I'll be listening to like some King Crimson perhaps.
Yeah.
Like some Epitaph.
No, why not?
Freaking this one band, the Naked Giants.
The Naked Giants. I think
The
I've heard
Naked
a couple.
Giants.
No, yes,
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
there's a song that you showed me that I really, really like by them.
I think it's Slow Dance 2.
Yes,
that song.
It's very bluesy. It's awesome.
That song goes crazy, and when he's ripping on the guitar, oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
It's great.
oh my
It's
gosh.
great. And then when it gets colder like this, like I like listening to more like folky music, like some
Like the band.
like the band
The
as
band.
well. But even some like I listen to some like Irish folk band that I
Oh,
listen to, and they're
dude.
it's like they're like a straight string band, and they're like they really hit the vibe for like that fall kind of like colder
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah, I'll even loop this into sailing because I was on a boat a few times. I'll listen to sea shanties. Sea shanties when you're just coasting on a boat.
Mhm.
That's like you get down to your roots.
Yeah.
Get down to like I feel the same emotions that we get from driving for a long distance have to be at least somewhat similar to the emotions that a sailor would feel crossing the Atlantic Ocean
Oh, I bet.
in the early 20th century.
Yeah, you're on a journey.
You're on a journey singing some sea shanties.
Sea shanties. That's
Sea
a tongue
shanties.
twister.
It is a tongue twister. But we just listened to Vaporwave in our Kias while they were singing sea shanties in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean dying.
Yeah,
Similar.
very similar.
Very similar,
I'd say.
but different. Different.
I think the hardest time to nail, or the hardest like music to fit for my like taste driving, is like a sunny day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, what do you listen to
There's
there?
it's just like the most generic weather, the most generic time. Like it's really hard to find like okay at this time I'm gonna listen to this music. That's the
Yeah.
hardest pairing for me. I
That-
think that's the one that I struggle with.
That I feel like the thing is I don't like any music that I think would pair well with a generic day.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would think generic music, generic day,
Yeah,
right? But I just don't like any of I don't like any popular music. Not because I don't think popular music has at least some merit. I
Yeah.
just don't like anything that they put out.
I feel that. But I mean, sometimes you gotta just jam out to stuff.
Yeah.
But then there are times where like, it just isn't just hitting the
This
vibe.
isn't the moment for the new Taylor Swift album.
Yeah, and like the weather just can't give you any direction on what music to pick, right?
Like, are we really listening to Taylor Swift's like what? Like which album is it that everybody?
Well, now she's re-releasing all the old ones.
Yeah.
So she can make her money. And...
Of course. Like, are we really listening to Taylor Swift's like? Hold on. Name an album. I don't listen to Taylor Swift.
I mean, in old ones like Speak Now.
Speak Now. Are we really listening to Taylor Swift Speak Now on a winter night?
Yeah, agreed.
Like, what? That just doesn't pair well.
Yeah. I'm not to get into Taylor Swift, but I mean, sometimes her like sadder stuff can like be a vibe out on occasion. But...
Yeah, but not an album.
Yeah, I feel that.
Now, here's another point too. Do you have any playlists that are for when you're driving with people?
I do. I do have playlists for driving with people. I have playlists for me, which might be weird stuff that no one else want to listen to.
Yeah.
And then there's also the stuff for like, okay, I know I'm going to go on a drive with a couple of people. I'm going to make this, put some more crowd-pleasing songs.
Yeah.
On, like something that everybody can enjoy. But that's definitely a factor is the people that you're with.
Yeah. Like I have, the playlist, the Benadryl.
It's a great playlist.
Music.
Listen to it on Spotify.
Of course. The Robcast Spotify playlist. But like that, I can't play with the normal crowd of people here. I can play it with you because you like that music.
No, that's a great playlist.
But when you have people that you're driving to the bar or like you're driving people to like a function, you're not gonna put on like what court. Like you're not gonna put on Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson.
Yeah.
For your normal people.
Mm-hmm. I mean just like in the context, that's like an album from the '60s. That's like way like ahead of its time. That's an awesome album.
Yeah.
But no, I mean definitely like you don't want to be self-conscious of your music taste, but there's always a part of you that
you gotta be aware.
Kind of is. Yeah. It's like, oh no, like these people just might not be into it. Like you want to let everyone have a good time. Yeah. So I get that.
Like it's not that you're self-conscious of your music taste in a bad way. You're just conscious of other people's music taste.
That's the wrong way to put it. Self-conscious of your own taste. But you're right. It's more like you want to be aware of the other people that are with you.
Like I know my like I have a giant driving playlist, not of music that I like music that a lot of people like at a drive to. Like I like listen to The Clash while I'm driving. Mm-hmm. Like The Magnificent Seven's a good song. Rock the Casbah, that's a good song for driving. That a lot of people like. So I put that kind of music, all the classic rock, all the dad rock, onto one playlist. So if I'm driving with people and I don't know their music taste, it's like, well, if you don't like dad rock, then get out of my car.
Yeah, like if you don't like some of the most like easy to enjoy music ever, then get the hell out.
Like if you don't like listening to the music by the Doobie Brothers, I mean, what's wrong with you?
Doobie Brothers, like Fleetwood Mac is another one that like that's actually a band that's pretty good on like that generic day that we were talking about.
That's
it's kind of just like one. Straight down the middle, like good stuff.
Really, I feel like any band that was on the Guardian of the Galaxy soundtrack is probably good on just a normal day.
Yeah. I agree.
It's like generic music, but not generic in a bad way, I guess. I don't know. A traditional music.
Yeah, those are really good mixes though, ironically.
Yeah,
they're actually really good.
I remember I like listened to that almost exclusively when I was like 15.
Same.
It was
same. I listened to that the first one like a lot. Like just like doing homework and like playing a video game in like high school and stuff.
Yeah.
It was good stuff. And maybe my hottest take, just to do one last thing on the music. In the morning, no music.
No music?
If it's early in the morning,
no
music.
That is kind of absolutely insane.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's controversial.
I don't know exactly how I don't know whether I even want to respond to that. Nah, I'm joking.
Take it or leave it.
But I can, you know what? I get it. There's been days like when I was driving to I did soccer in high school, and we'd have practices at like 6 a.m. to 7:30. Mm-hmm. And when I would drive to a soccer practice, there was a good 2 months where I just didn't listen to any music when I was driving there, because it would be like 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, well, this sucks. You know what I mean? So I'll just listen to nothing. I'll just listen to the road, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes in the morning, you kind of just like gotta get in your thoughts sometimes. I mean, that's a different conversation, but that's one of my one of my like
Hot take.
hot takes, controversial. Like sometimes in the morning, no music.
One of the things that, or well, I guess one of my hot takes, is that I kind of like. I think you would agree, city driving is different than all other forms
Yes.
of driving.
Yes. Very
And
much.
whenever I'm driving in the city, I almost always have to listen to like gangster rap. I don't know why. I just feel like when I'm driving around the city and I'm hitting potholes, I'm having to dodge people jaywalking. I just kind of really want to listen to like some gangster rap, like Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
a little
old
bit of
school.
NWA.
Yeah. Even that. I mean, even like Beastie Boys, like
Beastie Boys.
Rage Against the Machine. Like that's not
Yeah.
rap per se, but it's like that.
Rap adjacent.
Yeah.
Alternative rap, you could even call it.
Yeah. I think Rage Against the Machine is called like new metal or something like
New
that.
metal.
Because it's that like rock instruments, but they're
Yeah.
kind of talk rapping over it.
I feel
But-
there's like a lot of bands that I've recently picked up for driving. There's this one band called Show Me the Body.
Not familiar.
It's very small, but their genre is post-punk.
Okay.
And it is the weirdest. It's like spoken word rap
Yeah.
with punk instrumental, and that's been like the thing to listen to for me, like while I'm in the city. I don't know why.
I respect that.
I don't get why, but just a little bit of NWA, just a little bit of Wu-Tang Clan, just a little bit of what's that one band that made It Feels Good to Be a Gangster? What's that one band? They're in the Office Space.
You're testing my knowledge. I have to watch that movie also.
The Ghetto Boys.
Okay.
Ghetto Boys. That artist is so good. When I'm driving to like the store late at night, or I'm walking somewhere in the city. Like, do you have the same music pairings when you're walking? Like if you're walking somewhere and you want to listen to music, do you listen to the same music as if you would be driving there?
That's a great question. I mean, I don't walk and listen to music that often, as often as I should. But that's I think that's more your thing. But
Well,
that's a really good question.
I'm a walker. I would say I have way different music for when I'm walking. I don't listen to like chill music when I'm walking at night. I don't listen to gangster rap. I just listen to like death metal. I listen to like punk. I listen to like stuff that like makes me walk with a little bit of sass.
Yeah, I feel
You
that.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a little bit of oh man, what is it? The Beastie Boys, yeah. I don't know why I blanked on it, but when I'm walking to class at 8 a.m., when I'm walking to physics at 8 a.m., I have a little pep in my
Give you
step.
some
I have
energy,
to.
give you some attitude.
Yeah. When I'm listening to Beastie Boys, Fight for Your Right to Party at 7:30 in the morning. Like,
You're ready to party for the day.
I'm ready to party by sitting down for an hour and learning about free fall.
Yeah.
Well, we are speeding through all my topics of discussion.
What other topics do we have?
We have one other topic.
What's our topic?
Rain, snow, or clear skies.
Rain, snow, or clear skies.
Yeah.
This kind of links into music as well, though, I would say.
It does. It
Yeah.
does.
What are your thoughts on rain, snow, or clear sky?
I feel like rain is probably my favorite. Either rain or snow, I feel like are equal. Well, actually, you know what? I'll make a hard stance. Snow is probably my favorite to drive in.
Really?
Rain is my second favorite, and clear skies is my third. And I'll tell you why. So, naturally, I'm not going to disclose where I live, but you know where I live.
Yes.
We get a lot of snow, we get a lot of ice.
Yeah.
And I would always have to drive to school in the winter. It'd be like sleet ice. I'd have my studded tires on, and I was always so excited to drive in the snow and the ice because I would drift my truck all the time.
You're a fan of that.
I am a huge fan of drifting my truck. I would drift my remember, I was 17 and that's when I was listening to a lot of Drake. And I would be listening to God's Plan by Drake at 7 in the morning, just drifting my truck around these intersections. Like, that was the life. That was peak. That was peak music. And driving. Because I would just be able to just, I felt as if I was a Formula One driver. or a NASCAR driver. I was like, meh, you know, drifting, crashing into stuff, ignoring it.
Yeah, so you're a snow guy.
I'm a snow guy. At heart, I'm a snow guy.
All right.
I feel like it's more fun. You get to see more people caught in ditches, and it's just
Yeah.
a grand old time.
Gives you a little bit of a spectacle to watch while
Yes.
you're driving.
Yes.
You never know what you're gonna see.
You never know. You also get to make fun of your friends when they get their cars stuck.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you're bad at driving.
Yeah.
You're just stupid.
We had a friend who was driving in the snow, and he slipped off the side and he ran his car into like a well on the
Let's
side
go.
of the road.
Let's go.
we still make fun of him for it like all the time.
Oh my gosh. I feel like you have to. I feel like
God.
if you actually took that, like, any car crash seriously, if they don't die or if they don't get injured, if you take it seriously, like, you're just lame.
Yeah, no, it can be funny to a point.
Yeah, to a point. If they total their car, then it starts being not funny.
Yeah.
But I remember this is why rain is like my second place, and this is why it was so hard to make a decision, for me at least, was when I was driving back from a hunt, right? So we were up north in my state. I was driving down this highway to get down south, and there's one pass in the middle of the highway of an 8-hour drive, and it is known, at least by me, of always having rainstorms when I'm driving it. I always drive it in August. And there's always a huge monsoon, almost. You know that scene in, like, that scene in Forrest Gump where he's talking about it raining, like, up
Yes.
and sideways and all that stuff, and it just rains forever? It's like that. It's always raining. And this one time I was driving back, it was 3 a.m. I just got off the plane from camp, and I said, fuck it, how about I drive home now? Because I was bored, and I didn't want to be there anymore. And I just want to lay down in my own bed for once. And I got to that stretch of highway, and it was like 4 a.m. A good time.
A great time to drive.
Listening to some psychedelic porn crumpets, mixed in with a little bit of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
As you would expect.
As a man does. And I met this monsoon. The highway literally had 6 inches of water on it.
Really?
I was pushing water with my bumper.
Oh my God.
I was pushing water with my bumper, and I hit that wall of water going 60 miles an hour. Wait, no, sorry, not 60. This is like the speed limit on the highway is 60. I was going like 80 or 85, and I just hit this wall of water, and I slow down to 35 miles an hour. Almost give myself whiplash.
It's like hitting a wall.
Yeah, it's like hitting a wall. I can't see anything because it's just gallons of water pouring down my windshield.
That's crazy.
And I was like sitting there chugging along going 35 miles an hour with my foot all the way down on the gas. I was like, did I just drive into a river? And then I just keep on driving for about an hour. I make it about 40 miles. And it all clears up. It's all fine. But that was the funnest time driving ever.
It's a good story to tell.
It is a good story
Good
to tell.
experience.
It is a good story to tell. Good experience. I like to have my off-roading-ness in there, you know.
Yeah.
Because of all the off-roading I do, naturally we like to cross rivers every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a funny story to draw out this episode longer.
I've been on a off-road and also through water. And like at first you're kind of a little bit nervous. I mean, I don't do it as often as you do.
Yeah.
But I'm a little bit nervous.
It's a little scary. Like your first time.
Yeah.
I remember this one time, I was driving, and we're going back to this one glacier. And it's about like a 25-mile ride. So on ATVs, it's about 5 hours. And this one guy, he's just yelling at us from the side of the trail, hey, stop, help. And we're like, oh, did this guy's friend just have a heart attack? What's going on?
Yeah.
He's like, I got ATV stuck in the river. We're like, oh, okay. And he got this thing. I don't know what this dude was thinking. There was water over the hood of his little, like, it was a side-by-side with 4 seats.
Mm-hmm.
And it was brand new, spotless. And he had like 3 little kids running around. The thing's swamped. Like, and he's like, please help. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what we're doing. And we're like, well, that's swamp, but we'll get the car onto a dry spot. It'll be fine. He's like, okay, here's where I crossed. And naturally, me being, 16 and not being like, oh, maybe this guy doesn't know where to cross on rivers, right? I was like, oh, right there. We crossed right there. He told us to cross right there. I go in there. I'm on the quad. My dad's on the 6x. It's like a 6-wheel thingy. And I go in there. I immediately plunge down.
Oh my god.
I have to put my foot on the hitch of the quad and pull up the front. And I was wheeling across this river up to like almost up to the air intake. The air intake was about at the tip of the seat, I guess, would be how I would describe it. So I was like halfway up on the ATV with water, just wheeling through this. It was terrible. I hated it.
Yeah.
I just like looked at him. Like, you crossed there. He's like, yeah, it was fine. Like, whatever. And then my dad, he was wearing hip boots, so he
like waders kind of.
they're like they're like hip boots. They're boots that go up to like your hip, basically, and they're used for fishing. And so naturally he was wearing them because ATVing water, and he uses them as a measuring stick, kind of, for crossing rivers.
Yeah.
Because if it goes over the hip boot, then you can't go through it with the side by side, because that's where the air intake is on the side by side. It's a good way to measure it. And so he walks through where I went in, and he didn't even get like a quarter of the way down into the water, because it was just a 90-degree drop off. And he walks over like 5 feet, and he just can walk through it up to his knees. He's like, well, screw me, I guess.
You took the hard way.
Yeah, I took the hard way. I look good doing it, though.
I bet.
But yeah, that's my craziest ATVing story.
I mean, ATV. I mean, is that your favorite ATV or a car? Just to
Oh man, that's a
choice.
That's actually a good question. ATVing or car? I've definitely driven more in a car in my life. So maybe I'm a little bored of it. Maybe it seems a little passé for me.
Yeah. A little bit every day.
Every day I'm driving. I would say ATVing is probably my favorite.
Nice.
ATVing is probably my favorite because I can get myself stuck. It's fun. I get to practice my physics, because rope, pulley, winches, and stuff. I got to pull myself out of mud holes. Also get to meet interesting people on the trail. There's always some tourists.
It's a social experience.
It's a social event. And you get to see people at their breaking point sometimes. Because you meet these people who've been stuck for like hours and they're just frustrated. They're just mad.
I've been a passenger, never a driver.
You have to change that. It's a fun time.
I bet.
It's a fun time. I remember this one time we're on the exact same trail, and we met these tourists from Utah, and they didn't know how to ATV. This was their first time ATVing, and they just rented some. So we're like, okay.
You need a license, or I guess if you're on probably like
if you're on
like a state.
You don't need a license. You just need to be pretty smart to do it. And they capable. And I think it was 2 dudes and their wives, and they all got different quads. So I don't know why they would do that, but hey. And they only got one quad with a winch on it. And they were driving along, chugging along, and they came up on this little hill surrounded by mud, right? So naturally the one with the winch, the one with getting all the other ones out, decided to go first. And he promptly drove up onto the hill. And he got himself, like, it's a technical term called high-centered, where like the earth lifts up the vehicle, so it's resting on its frame and not on its tires.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
So that's what high centering is, and it's really annoying, because either you pull yourself forward or back so your tires are touching the ground, because you're not going to do anything. So the only vehicle with anything to get anybody out just got high centered, and they didn't know how to use the winch either. So they were there for like 3 hours.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. Just an experience. And
just an experience. They were there for like, and we were going back, and they were on a side trail too, because they didn't know the trail at all. It was a comedy of errors. And so we, naturally being well versed in that trail, like, oh, let's take this side trail. We've never been down here before.
Yeah.
And so we go down there, and we see all these people panicking, like, oh my god, we're gonna die out here. And naturally, we just drive past them, and we just winch it, and then it's done.
Good thing Rob, the host of the Robcast, was there to help.
Rob, the host of the Robcast, and his dad, Big Rob. Rob Senior.
Rob Senior.
Yeah, that was a It was a fun experience. I should do like a whole episode just on stories.
You should. Quad stories.
When I eventually run out of friends to talk to for this podcast, I should just do Rob stories.
You could Rob stories.
Rob's story hour. Rob's Christmas story?
It could be like a little mini series.
It'd be like an audiobook. Audiobook.
So what's your beef with Clear Skies? Why is that just the worst time to drive?
I don't know. I think it comes from when I was driving across country. Because there was a good 5 days where we were driving from Washington to Wisconsin, that area. And it was clear skies in the Midwest in like these fake ass towns. Mm-hmm. Like when I say fake ass towns, I mean towns that like you look at them and they make you distressed because they just shouldn't be there.
Yeah. They
shouldn't be there. I remember I felt this. It was Butte, Idaho. And I looked at it. I was in Butte, Idaho. And it was just weird. It was the weirdest town I've ever been in. Not because anybody was weird, not because anybody's bad. I don't have anything against the people of Butte, Idaho.
Why would you?
Why would I? But the sky was a clear blue, no clouds in the sky at all. The sun was directly beaming down. Nothing had shadows.
Just no personality.
Just no personality. I felt like I was in a simulation.
It's like you were in like Nuketown.
Like, yes, it felt like I was in Nuketown. I was like sitting there. I was like, this is terrible. I hate this. And we were at a pizza barn or whatever. It was like this. Well, no, it was a pizza corral, I think is what it was. It's like an all you can eat buffet with pizza. And I was driving across country with my parents and sister. And I look over at him and I'm like, we should like leave. This place sucks. I hate it here. I don't know why, but I was feeling very stressed.
Yeah.
So that's why I hate blue skies, because it's just like, oh, it just feels generic. I feel...
What's there to talk about?
What's there to talk... Like, I'm not driving through 6 inches of rain on blue skies. Yeah. I'm not drifting my car on blue skies. I'm just driving from point A to point B and not having too many thoughts.
So, I mean, I guess, for me...
For you.
I mean, optimal driving would be clear skies. Right? Yeah. Like, during the day, easy.
Most effective.
But my favorite times to drive, and we talked about night, probably clear sky night is number one, I would say.
I didn't think of clear sky night. I don't mind any of the environments at night. Mm-hmm. I feel like adding night onto there kind of levels them all out.
I would agree. So that might be like a trump card that you can't really play.
I'm more being like clear skies, summer.
Yeah, clear skies, summer. I don't love, but it's probably, I don't know. It's probably number 2.
Yeah.
I like driving in the rain.
Driving in the rain is fun.
I like daytime rain. Yeah. Like, you kind of get some like somber, more sad music playing, right? And it's just a fun time to drive.
I like to listen to jazz when it's like early morning rain.
Oh yeah.
Like there's this one album Chet Baker sings, and all the songs on those I just listen to while it's like raining in the morning.
Yeah.
Driving there, chillaxing. I'm in my a depressed. I'm in my Taxi Driver arc.
Yeah. And great movie.
Fantastic movie. That's why I do pull-ups every day.
Yeah.
Pull-ups every day. Shave my head. A little bit of push-ups.
You're just like Robert De Niro.
Exactly. You know, I've been told so many times I'm exactly like Robert De Niro. I look exactly like him.
I mean, jazz is another great, to go back to the music, is another great type of music to drive to.
Jazz is so good in so many places.
Yeah. I love like instrumental jazz. Like you listen to
that.
Yeah. Like, that kind of fits the vibe of the rainy day, I would say.
Yeah.
Like no words, kind of just like the instruments playing.
Just jazzing it up.
Yeah, just jazzing it up.
Jazzing it up. One of the things I like about jazz, especially while driving, is that it's such an overarching genre. Mm-hmm. Like you can have fast-paced jazz for like... I like to listen to fast-paced jazz when it's like dark and winter and ice and sleet and I have to be like manic a little bit because I'm... So like fast-paced big band jazz,
fast-paced driving. Like if I'm on the highway, right, but I'm in like a 5-lane highway, like about to enter a city, and I have to cross 6 lanes to get across the highway.
Yeah,
I want my music.
A New Jersey lane change.
Yes. I want my music to be as crazy as possible.
Yeah,
it's kind of just like
you get in the zone
of being like, wow, this is freaking nuts.
Like now we're here. This is happening now.
Yeah, you gotta be aggressive. You gotta.
Big band jazz. Do you ever listen to? So here's a nerd question. Here's an objectively nerdy question. Do you listen to video game soundtracks whenever you're driving?
Video game soundtracks, not as much as as movie soundtracks.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the Lord of the Rings soundtrack.
When you get the Lord of the
at
Rings
midnight on a rainy
it's
night.
incredible. It's incredible. I mean, even just sometimes when you don't know what to listen to, you put on some Lord of the Rings score. You put on like the Star Wars score, obviously classic.
Of course.
I mean, you can't go wrong. It's incredible.
I like this to the new Star Wars score.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about the new Star Wars movies. It's a fun topic.
I might have to do that eventually. Do like some film reviews on this.
Yeah, why not?
I feel like I would lose a lot of my either I would gain a large audience because people would be arguing about my takes.
Mm-hmm.
I already had so many people on the Milkman episode. I had so many people start arguing with me about which milk is best.
I know. I saw one commenter talked about chocolate almond.
Chocolate almond milk, Amato.
That was very controversial. I would say.
I admire his bravery for coming here to the Robcast and commenting that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to. I told him I met him in person, and I'm gonna try it. He's a fan of the show. Found me. I said, hey, I'll try it. After I gave him my signature, of course.
And that's the beauty of the Robcast is you say your opinions, but you're open to the conversation.
I'm open to other opinions as long as they're like right opinions, I guess. Like I had some person tell me that skim milk in cereal is the best milk to put in cereal.
I would disagree with that.
Which I don't know how to even cut that to say that it's a good opinion. It's not. It's not a good opinion.
Yeah, skim milk is not.
It's not okay.
Ideal. Yeah.
It's not okay.
It's not the best.
I don't mean to dwell on a past episode.
Yeah. Hey,
it's a Robcast.
It's
good. You know, it's episodic in nature.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much time we have. I mean, I almost want to make every. Oh crap! We're at 41:40. Let's go.
Episode.
It's you know what? This has been a very good episof.
Yeah,
I like this. I didn't think I have this little list of notes on my little iPad doodad, and for all of the next episodes, which I'm not going to say what the next episodes
Can't
are
spoil
about.
it.
They're fantastic. Works of art, really. I will say Joe Rogan appears on.
Next episode, guest star Joe Rogan.
And then I got Alex Jones to talk about. Alex Jones talking about his favorite cuts of meat would go hard.
Yeah.
But only have like 4 topics to talk about. We cut that into 43 minutes.
Yeah.
I knew you'd be able to do it.
Hey, gotta keep the conversation going.
I did have a little side note. Have Drive the movie on in the background, but I don't. I feel like they would copyright strike that.
Yeah.
I feel like they would just do that.
Yeah, Ryan Gosling would get mad at you.
Ryan Gosling would be mad. I should invite him on.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to review your movie Drive?
I mean, movies about Drive. What are some good ones? I mean, Drive, obviously.
Great review movie. Ryan Gosling's like all the movies he's ever been in.
Yeah.
I would just rank like Green Lantern at the very top.
Green Lantern's the best one, obviously.
The best. Well, Dean, it's a fantastic episode.
Oh, thank you for having me. I mean, Kieran was a hard guest to follow up, but
I think you did it. I think you did it well. I think you Kieran had a lot to say about milk. You had a lot to say about driving and music. Next episode you're on will probably be about music.
We could do that.
I might do some combo episodes. Rob plus 2 guests.
Could be fun.
And
talk about some movies, some music.
Movies, music. I still got to write down some episodes, but
it's a variety show.
It is a variety show. And then maybe over Christmas break I do a Robcast with Rob. I just do a story time with Rob.
Rob squared.
Rob, that's on the list. It's on the list. I don't have any topics to talk about with Rob.
You could talk about just being Rob.
Just being Rob. Robbing it up.
Yeah, robbing it up.
Well, on that note, thank you.
Thank you for having me, Rob.